Hello. Welcome back. We are back at it. TP and B. We are in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Used to take that if I could be.
Right. We are in the building, good people. And when we took a break, we was talking about everybody's favorite guy, Barack Obama. And we was also talking about failures of leadership. But since you brought him up, let's talk about it. What I would say what made me lose faith in Mr. Obama was when he went to Flint, Michigan, and he told those people that the water there was safe to drink when he knew it was contaminated. And he did the stunt where he act like he was drinking water from the tap and was like, yeah, your water is safe.
Today, Barack Obama gave the Good Housekeeping seal of the president to the troubled waters of Flint, Michigan. And Jerika Duncan is there.
Can I get some water?
Before a crowd of 1,000.
I really did need a glass of water. This is not a stunt.
President Obama took a sip of Flint's filtered tap water, assuring the people there that he cares.
I've got your back. Not too long ago, I received a letter.
The president singled out 8-year-old Mari Copany.
Mr. President.
She wrote him a letter in March expressing her concerns about the water. How would you describe the Flint water?
It's nasty.
Why is it nasty?
It gives you bad rashes and headaches.
Flint's water crisis began 2 years ago after the city switched its water supply from Detroit to the Flint River to save money. The water wasn't treated for corrosion, causing lead to leach from aging pipes. 3 government workers have been charged with misconduct and conspiracy to tamper with evidence. One of them was arraigned today and pleaded no contest. Though officials now say filtered tap water is safe, many, like Paris James, don't believe it.
When they said it was okay, it wasn't really okay.
The single mother's daily routine begins at 6 in the morning. Her 3 children get ready for school using bottled water. She drives them 20 minutes outside of Flint to her parents' house to bathe.
So you refuse to pay your water bill?
Mm-hmm. Why pay for poison?
To date, the city has handed out more than 24 million bottles of water and over 100,000 filters. Scott, the mayor here, says she wants to replace all of the pipes, but right now there just is not enough money to do that.
To me, I thought that was...
Hold on. I never knew he did that. You never knew he did that? I know because the thing is, honestly, I sized him up early. And when I sized him up early, what he talked about really didn't matter to me. I treated him like I treat sports. And you know what I do with sports, man. It's like, I appreciate sports. I think they've reached a high level of athleticism, but they don't pay me to be a fan. So if I got better things to do, I got better things to do.
Yeah, well,
so
I mean,
I
that's how you
knew he did that. I never knew. Listen, if to
you
see
never
him
knew
do
he
something
did that.
like that, I probably would have lost it.
He did something
I'm
like
losing
that.
it now, but I
could pull it up. Let me actually pull it up. Yeah, well, he went down there and provided cover for a Republican governor who switched the water off the water that was safe to drink to get it directly out of the river that they knew was polluted. And the people in Flint, Michigan, been catching all kind of cancers and all kinds of other stuff from the water. And instead of Barack Obama going down there and calling him out, this joker went down there and said, your water is safe to drink. And these people are still getting sick. To this day, that water crisis is still not fixed in Flint, Michigan.
Listen, let me. So, if we're talking about him, that's just another nail in the coffin for me. I mean, the Joker is like a vampire in a sense. You know, he's alive, but he's dead. You know what I mean? Because, and there's probably people in your own life or other people's lives, whoever viewing, you know what I'm saying, that they're alive, but they're dead to you. Like what they do doesn't really matter because they are who they are. You can't change that. You can't change what they did, but you're just going to not be into them or let them affect you again.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying. They're
Obama's
alive,
like
but they are alive, but the damage is done. So
yeah, the damage is done. You can't change that. But guess what? You can follow the trail because obviously sickness is a business.
Oh, it is. Absolutely.
So, you know, pharmaceutical companies wouldn't be billionaires if it wasn't a business. Sickness is a business. And if you can create sickness, then you're creating business.
No, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. Just you follow a trail, you're going to find out that. Because I'll give you an example. This is real talk, TP. Just show you like how if the truth of those things, the examples are there. Maybe for a good journalist, good this and that, they really could find those things. Why? Because they have the ability to get in places that normal people maybe just don't get into because they're just skilled at doing something, right? How did it was a time at Rutgers, me and Adrian was in there. We used to go there all the time.
Stop saying people's name.
Well, you know, Adrian's not alive, so it's doesn't make no difference, man.
I'm just saying, don't just say a friend, please.
Okay, I understand, but okay. I would say a friend in other situations, but this one really doesn't matter in that sense as his name. We were in there, we would go there often. And one time they were trying to rush everybody out. And we were like, why are you rushing us out? Like, oh, can't tell you. So they rushed us all out. Everybody got out. We seen other people leaving. So we thought, okay, I don't know what's going on, but we out of here.
Right.
We always used to leave fake names. Always. I would leave crazy names like
excuse me.
The Jan Man. like, and he would leave fake names too. So we never, and this is before a lot of cameras, like, you know, the cameras they have now. This was before facial recognition. This is before any of those things, right? Any of those things. How did we start to hear on the news that this some guy was trying to do a pipe bomb in that joint and didn't blow? It didn't blow at all. And it was some white boy. So how the FBI came past, I know my house at least, before his house, like 2 or 3 days later.
Come past your house?
Yeah. And my mom came to the door. She was like, what? What do you want? And they were like, is so-and-so here? Asking for me by name. Remember, I used to leave fake names and everything else.
Right.
No social media. We didn't have social media back then. We didn't have camera phones. And I'm an underage kid.
Okay.
But they popped up to my door, right? So the reality is this Flint thing or any of those things that deal with Obama, they all have a trail. And the same way those guys found me, they were skilled in finding things and doing things. I don't know what the heck they did to find me. And I was invisible. An underage kid with a fake name that just came in the library, and we would do that often. Always had fake names. We would change them up. So, there's a trail, and he's just one of those other failed leaders, but he's more than just a failed leader in a sense, and he's distracting.
Oh, very distracting.
He
he know how to speak very eloquently to get you in that trance of don't look over here, but this is going on right here. Look over here. That's Obama.
We got
right
distracted for 8 years, and we got nothing really out of it. Nothing really out of it. And to be honest, when it comes down to it, we got more out of Trump than we got out of him, and that's kind of my issue with reconstruction of the community. For some dumb reason, you can't get out of Negroes' heads, Puerto Ricans' heads. I'm gonna say, but they're in for the wrong reasons too, because you can't be Puerto Rican and think you're white. Sorry, be Boricua. Rep that joint. You are not like anybody else. Just be Boricua. That's it. When you think you're white, they're gonna sooner or later remind you you're not white. So my point is, we think we're Democrats. We think we're Democrats.
Oh yeah.
But reality is, let's look back what Democrats were about. Really about. Because how did it all get switched around? And people know they got documents out there, they got stuff out there that says how it got bait and switched. Because was Frederick Douglass a Republican or Democrat? That joker wasn't no Democrat. How many people of esteem history back that was black going against slavery were Democrats? Let's wait for that number. Because it's not. And was any town that had a lot of black unity and they were economically strong, this and that, but they were still in an oppressed environment. But they were doing well. Black Wall Street, doing well. You think they were Democrats or Republicans?
Well, back then they probably was nothing because they couldn't vote.
They were Republicans. They were Republicans.
Hold up, let me ask you this.
They started letting them vote a long time ago. They were Republicans.
No, let me ask you this. I know the Democrats were originally the Southern,
right?
They.
How do you think
Southern politicians?
How do you
and
really
it
think
just
that
switched
changed?
around, huh?
How do you really think that changed?
No, it never changed.
Let's look at our current state under. Let's look at our current state under Democrats. If we take just the base sayings of Republicans, not who they are right now, because there's a lot of people in there that hate. Let's be real about that. The Republican strategy still at its basis means pick your bootstraps up and do it. Get it done. Independence, reliance on selves, working together in some unities. That's still what the Republican ideal is, and that's exactly what we should be doing. But as a Democrat, we are people who learned how to fish and people who learned how to just wait for the fish and be fed. Like a freaking alley cat that was a house cat and got kicked the freak out so it don't even know how to hunt. And it's just wait, it come up to you like, meow, meow. And this joker just wants some food. Like, you ain't no real alley cat. That real alley cat done snatched up a bird or two today.
Well, see, I think the strategy.
We have that many people who got it. And this many people, and that to change that is also has to be changed. You have to meet them where they're at too. Because some people don't ever want to move out of the projects, even if they moved out of the projects. And I'm saying that in a way of, we know exactly what project mentality, like ingrained ignorance or something, whatever the heck you want to call it, is maintained and passed along. And they are Because I hate to say project mentality because it could be outside the projects, but that's what I experienced in my life. But you can say trailer, you can say, all of those different things.
All the different stereotypes.
Right. And that mentality is what is going to keep them back. But they're like the crabs in a barrel. You got to let them. It's all right. It's not where they at, it's how they are. It's why you just got to let some of those be. It's like this analogy of the elephants when they try to change the reserve. And they only had little elephants, toddlers, and adult women, their mothers. Those toddlers grew up to be crazy behind juveniles because nobody could kick their butts.
Oh, the elephants.
And when they finally tried to fix the situation, the adult elephants couldn't fix all the kids. It was some that just was too far gone, too ignorant.
Right.
They euthanized them jokers. That's kind of the same plight. We ain't going to be able to save everybody. Even if we could name all of them and all of them were successful, we ain't going to be able to save everybody. And that's just when people accept that reality, is okay. It doesn't matter if it was my son and he was that far gone. If he's that toxic to the barrel of apples, you remove it. Why? Because it's going to affect the others and others and others. Or you allow them to remove themselves because obviously it's not a barrel of apples. That's a knowledge. But that's also slide into that faith thing. When you're out there doing the works, somebody's throwing trash in front of your house, and you're patient enough to deal with it. Deal with some of the things. These are these leaders that they talk that junk, but they're not about that. And that's a failure for us. So I can keep going on and keep joining them together and keep showing how we are not appreciating our kids exactly where they're at. They have so much activity, but we're putting them behind a game. Or we're pushing their energy towards some sports or rap or likes on a social media. Heard a dumb commercial that was really pointing that out. And it was about McDonald's. Like, how does McDonald's talk about getting likes on social media and that equating to being happy with yourself or something? Well, I'm telling you, if you heard the commercial, you'll really like, what?
But see, that's what it's all about now. Everything is driven by social media. The climate is driven by social media as far as dealing with people. And if you don't know that social media is like the biggest poison of people, the biggest driver of wedges between people, is really social media. The reason why I use it is because I advertise on it.
Right. No, I'm not saying it's because social media can have its good things too.
No, it has its definitely has its good things, because you wouldn't be able
if you're using it in a negative way, so the results become negative. It could be used as like a big flyer. Because obviously it is. That's how people got their businesses, on social media. Right. It could be used as an announcement of some news of importance. Because that's what people do.
Some people just get on there and say stupid shit all day. Like,
yeah, and that's what people are clicking onto. They're clicking onto this trash, but they want to feel good about themselves. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. You can't be clicking on trash all day and not have trash in your life somehow and didn't want to take the trash out. Doesn't make any sense. You either going to take out the trash or you don't look at stuff that just, that attitude or this or that or this, it bothers me. But sometimes you do because it's part of an entertainment. But when you're engrossed to it, this is what it always is. Then you haven't really figured out enough about yourself yet. So that's how I look at some of those like reality TV shows. And I say, these women have money. And in mind, you would say the money equates to happiness. But I'm like, these are just no different than girls that's I probably knew in some hood, and she just ain't living in a mansion. She living in that apartment right over there.
I mean, that's true. I can't, me personally, I can't sit down and watch any of that crap. So I know it's all a sense of false reality, and for most people, they would never even see a mansion like that in their lifetime, let alone live in one. But see, those people on those stupid shows, they the ones that's driving this craziness inside some of these women and some of these men, because they showing false realities.
Right, like a picture about being on a private jet, and you don't even own a private jet. So you perking like, oh, it's my private jet. No, not even a jet at all. It's just a whole bunch of props. Come on. What are you selling?
Well, I mean, that's what it is now. People get their value and their own self-worth off of things they think people gonna see.
And that's why I say that the hashtag capture my soul is about capturing the happiness within you, building that up. And you may feel a fork in a way that you never thought you got before. Or maybe you had at some point in time in your life and you lost it. You had the best weight, the best energy, the best outlook, this, that, all of those things. That was a happy and forward moment, and you felt alive within yourself without any extra stuff added. Now, without any eyebrows or butts or nothing. You were happy. That was a state of mind worth gold. So what makes you not there again? And that's the trash. So if you want to really capture yourself, you really got to start viewing yourself. And then viewing yourself that, hey, I got to be happy. I am going to be happy because I'm taking out this unhappy thing. I'm removing this unhappy thing. So the more I remove those little pebbles of unhappy things, the more I get to the state I want to be, like this world.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that's part of something I said in one of my pods that I just did. I said State of the Union, where, a lot of people just allow a lot of the trash to take up unnecessary space, and when something good coming is bouncing off, they're not receiving it, they're not taking it. Is and again, I would say a lot of it is on self. Like, people should expect more of themselves, right?
But
like when they don't, but this part of the problem is, when you don't take a lot of more personal responsibility, then they obfuscate and say, oh, this is the reason why these people are doing this and blah, blah, blah. Like, we got to take a little more responsibility in ourselves. Of course, you're going to have failed leaders. You're going to have failed politicians. You're going to have all these things. And even in this crazy ass goddamn world that we living in, that's going to be working against you. It's institutionalized for certain people to fail. But if you got that in your brain, if you got that in your brain before anything even happens, or you even try to do something yourself, well, guess what? You doomed to fail. At the end of the day, you got to take responsibility for your own shit. Everybody want to be rich, but don't want to do the work that it takes to get to being rich. Everybody want to have nice things.
Comfortable where they at right there. Like, you can aspire to be better. Like, you remember, and this is kind of where I draw back to those things, and I say it really quickly. You remember when I had British Knights? Do you remember that at all?
Yeah, black and white, I think they were.
Yeah, I remember those were pretty
with a little gold on it or something.
Yeah, so as being Bobos, but you know that, hey, my mom went and worked for this and she worked hard for this, and I don't feel disrespected by it. If you think that I should be wearing Jordans, then the problem is with you, not with me. I appreciate that what she did with me. I appreciate what she did for me.
Oh, absolutely.
So, people are not content at where they at. Because being content right there, saying I don't need to have a Gucci bag. I can
Right.
have a so-and-so bag that from the girl from around the corner, she making bags. And I really like that bag. For instance, my wife have a friend that's she does hair and stuff, but she made a big bag. And I looked
Right.
at the bag. The bag is nice. I'm like, and I say, like, why can't more people just have bags like this that just look nice, but it doesn't have to have Gucci on it? Why can't a person from their hood be making great bags or great shirts or great clothes or great this, great that, and they rep that? Like, it's the best thing in the world. Ah, we're all plugged in. Like the social media negative stuff, we're all plugged in to believe that these things are the things that's going to make me feel happy. You ain't make your own happiness, and somebody made it for you. So
Right.
that's why you look at other people and stuff like that, because somebody's manufacturing your happiness. I don't need my manufactured happiness. Let me manufacture it myself.
Absolutely.
Why? Because I got up this morning. Ha! I'm
Right.
happy.
I said that shit too I said that in another pod too. I said, stop waiting for somebody to make you happy. Go out here and build your own happiness.
Right.
I said that as well. Like,
because you can't be happy for somebody else if you're not even happy with yourself, yo.
oh,
And
absolutely.
that's why some people don't tell some things to others, because they figure, hey, if I tell so and so, and they know it, she gonna be jealous of it, or he gonna be jealous of it. They ain't gonna really be happy for you.
I don't know if that, I mean, in the
that
climate that we in now, I don't even know if that really freaking exists. Like, a lot of people will say, I mean, a lot of people will say they happy for you, but in the back of their mind, they be thinking, why him, not me?
Yeah, I'm not obviously talking about the shade. The shade is like that Cabo situation. That's the shade. But you know what I'm going to say on the same token? I'm sad that she's gone. If I could ask her while she was alive and we had conversations, hey, is this something up with your friends? Is that how they really feel about you? Or you're projecting how you want them to feel about you?
I don't know.
Maybe you pay for things. No, because it said she paid for this, paid for that. So maybe you pay for things because it's like buying their affection and attention, this and that. You're trying to manufacture your happiness. In other words, you know what I'm saying? There's people that do that, and if because they wasn't genuinely her friends, because friends don't do that to one another.
No, they
Even
don't.
though we've seen some stuff that we grew up with, and some friends did things to friends, but we have really understood. If somebody told me to do X, Y, Z to, like, say, for instance, they said, hey, we're going to take Terrence to Mexico and going to put a banana up his butt. I'd be like, nigga, don't play with me.
Huh?
What? You get me? If somebody said they was going to do that to you, like something crazy, they couldn't talk me into that, because that's what friends. But somebody who really don't like you and you're trying to project but you could tell at some point in time that, hold on, they really don't like me. I've just gotta go with the feeling. Because I can't believe that she didn't felt eerie around him. Like, like they showed in that video one time, she walks in a room and they go quiet. That probably was the first time, because she played it off, act normal. You get me? That's the difference. There's a lot of friends out there. People have some real friends. And those are the people that just are more mature. They're happy about themselves and they can see things for what they are.
They got a little bit of stability in their life, but I like I said, if I didn't know anything, what 2022 showed me is that people who I thought was my friends ain't really my friends.
Right.
And that goes for family as well too. Like I would just
that's a grand lesson.
oh, it's been a great teacher for me.
And I'm saying that the way we rallied around the girl, to be honest, right? Wanting justice for her, right? Us as a community, because obviously it's not the law enforcement that jumped out and said, you know what I mean? Us as a community.
Right.
Maybe that's the lesson in reality for the year that we have to take for all of ourselves.
Oh,
when
yeah,
you really
absolutely.
look at, when you're trying to get within yourself and you try to open up yourself to the things that you could see that you didn't see before.
Right.
And we get to that point, like you pointed, and a bunch of other people probably have the same opinion, that 2022, when you thought, I was kind of go crazy on 2020, like, oh, 2020 vision, wow, ooh, what does that mean? But we're talking about 2022 opened up another door to allow people to say, hey, now I see this more clearly. But they try to play a trick on woke, because if you say, hey, I'm a woke more because of 2022, you become a target. Why? Were you not more awake than you were the past year?
All right.
At something? And why is that a negative? So to make people afraid to say, oh, they woke.
Well, that's because they co-opted the word. They co-opted the word. They co-opted the. It was, to me, woke was just like I said this in 3 other damn videos. But woke to me is just being aware of what's going on around you. They then turned it into all kinds of movements, and it's been the general thing of being woke is just knowing shit, knowing what's going on around you that's bad or good, but they ain't got nothing to do with all these movements that they got attached to being woke. And that's what it is. Hey, you wanna be woke, knowing what's going on around you, what your government's doing, what some of these crab people around you doing, or woke is being on some type of liberal shit where you adopting all these kind of different movements that don't got nothing to do with being woke. That's woke is just being aware, man. Like it's not what these people say it is. It's
and it's getting positive and negative connotations in it. I'm just really like, does that really matter? Oh, so you woke today from whatever yesterday, so that means tomorrow you're not going to be woke. I don't get it. It bothers me because it shouldn't have any kind of negative connotation, and it shouldn't be used in that way. And like it's not even supposed to be used in that way. And that's no different than some other things that are just turned topsy-turvy. And we're looking back, like, for instance, the same thing that Democrats and Republicans.
Right.
Where we should outright be more Republicans.
We should outright be more critical thinking, because the Republicans,
you know what?
Republicans today, to me, in my opinion, ain't somebody I could stand behind.
I said it myself. I'm sorry. What I said it in this sense.
In this sense, okay. You got to clarify here, brother.
Yes. I said I'm a Republican-leaning Democrat. So that takes some explanation, right? Because I'm basically saying that I believe we should be doing more for our own selves.
Oh, how about that? Something we've been talking about the whole time when it comes to,
And as that voice to say, I believe we should be doing more for our own selves with our own resources that we have. It extends to the same mindset that I was talking about with these leaders. You got in your community, usually probably nurses, doctors, social workers, construction workers, this, that. I mean, all these different avenues of people that provide different things within a community, services, whatever. And they can't be utilized outside their jobs. That's not faith. That's not faith. Because that's why I could come at their actions in this sense. You got masses behind you, and you're not even helping them enact their faith. You are a loser too, but you're getting paid millions to be it sometimes.
All right.
But people are not even woke enough to see that. Or criticize it so heavily that some of those other people start to see it who was mesmerized by it.
Well, Batter, you know what's crazy? I just talked about this shit in my last podcast where I said part of has been a bipartisan fuckery of the American people. And when I said that, people look at me and say, oh, Democrats are so much better than the Republicans. See, the Republicans, what Republicans do is they tell you right to your face, we're not going to do shit for you. And we're going to help corporations. What Democrats do is they lie and say we're going to help you, and then they work for the corporations. So when you sit back and you listen to this bipartisan bullshit that they do to us, and people don't call it out on both sides,
right?
Then you're a part of the fucking problem.
Right. And that's why
you're part of the fucking problem.
That's why I stop being quiet about the things, because I'd rather you just take the position that you want. Meaning, if you're a butthead and you really just wearing a mask, just be the butthead. I'm cool.
Right.
You don't get me. I'm in a different place. I'll be cool. You can be a butthead. Did you be a butthead when you're dealing with this or dealing with that? Or you're just a butthead and you're still going to do your job right? Do your job right. Thank you, sir. Right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Well,
that's how you handle that type of situation. But when they have masks on, you got to do something to help them come out of that mask. And sometimes you can't be quiet about it. That's why
absolutely.
If the people are speaking up about some real stuff to really revitalize their communities, they have to be calling a spade a spade.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you're not calling a spade, why you're afraid to call a spade, let's deal with that. But then try to criticize people like the Rainbow Coalition or Mr. Skinny Man. You can't.
Well, you can't. At the end of the day, like for me, I'm gonna tell you a truth being, and we got to get up out of here too. We got 3.5 minutes left. So what I would say, you know, critical thinking is what is needed today. You can't be sitting around thinking about, oh, these people are better because they wear D, or these people are better because they wear R. You got to look at both of them, see them what they for and what they are, and then you move accordingly when it comes to that. Because now what they do is they guilt trip you into voting for them. And not only do they guilt trip you, they criticize other people and don't point out their own faults themselves. So
real talk to your point, right?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Driving down the highway, you'll see in Republican areas, they try to target them with fear. And then in the areas, in Black areas, they target them with a different fear. They'll shut down the Obama program. They'll blah, blah, blah. In the white areas of hippie town, they're telling them, hey, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. In some other areas where they're just conservative Republican, they got fear-mongering videos.
Oh, yeah.
About people coming in your house and robbing and stuff like that. What the freak? They're not, do you know them? They're not traveling all the way over here to do this, trust me. Did you know them from the hood? Nah, they ain't doing that. That was somebody that lived around you that did that.
Right.
So it's
just
sad,
like I tell any of those freaking people, stop looking to the side. Stop looking down at the people who's oppressing you. All you got to do is look up. It'll tell you everything you need to know.
Right.
And follow the money. Follow the money. If you follow the money, you will know where you got to go. Okay?
So much stuff in books, nobody reading it.
That is a problem.
Nobody
so we gonna say we gonna call this part 1. We gonna do part 1 like we did last time, part 2, part 3. But this we gonna do is part 1. So, and we gonna get into some more conversations. It's conversation.
I'm gonna have a 10.
And Bach and B, stop playing. You know what I'm saying? Right. TP and B, we in the building. Stop playing. This has been the Don't Listen podcast with your boy and your other boy now. He in the mix, so it is what it is. We appreciate you all for listening. Appreciate you all for watching. And yeah, there's more to come. This is part 1, and the fun has just begun. Stop playing. We out. Deuces.